Hello students, good morning. Myself Rita Das. Again I am here to present my new video. I am requesting all the new viewers to subscribe my channel. Today I am going to teach you second chapter of class 9th. The topic is the sound of music, Bismillah Khan, and in this chapter we have to know first of all about the writer. The writer was Devrao Cowley, is a freelance writer and broadcaster. She grew up in Toronto, graduated from the University of Western Ontario and moved to Ottawa to work for the Unitarian Service Committee. She spent 2 years with United Nations Relief and Works in Verret before moving back to Ottawa and a job with SIDA. As she traveled the world with her diplomat husband, she worked as a reporter for BBC Radio in Washington, D.C. and on a posting to Cairo, she worked on several TV documentaries for CBC Man Alive. Also in Egypt, she wrote the first official guidebook to Cairo since Whittaker's Guide in 1940s. Now we have to know about the introduction of the chapter. The lesson is about Ustad Bismillah Khan. He was a renowned Sahnai player in India. He is a legend because he did something which has historical significance. He played the Sahnai on the day India got independence, 15th August 1947. At the Red Fort, before the Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, gave his speech. Before that, Bismillah Khan played the Sahnai in order to signify something auspicious for the whole country was about to happen. India was about to get freedom, and so on that occasion, Bismillah Khan played the Sahnai, and so he is a legend. Now we have to see the difficult words meaning souvenirs, things given in memory, and generic, a name given to a class or group, cheese and the reeded, wind instrument, and auspicious, promising to bring good fortune, indispensable, without which a piece of work cannot be done. Now the title of this story. The title, The Sound of Music. The subtitle, The Sahnai Bismillah Khan, are very appropriate as they are in accord with the contents of the features which celebrates the melodious music produced by Bismillah Khan's Sahnai. It is also described Bismillah Khan's evolution and achievements as a pioneering Sahnai player. Now we have to explain the chapters stanza by stanza. Here, Pungi, the chapter started with a Pungi, a reeded musical instrument, was banned by Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb because he found its sound to be jarring and shrill and not melodious. However, it was revived when a barber who belonged to a family of professionals musicians modified and perfected it. He took a hollow stem which was wider than Pungi, made 7 holes in it and produced music that was soft and melodious. The barber played it in the royal chambers and it was so melodious, and it was said that was soft and melodious. The barber its sound was so appreciated that it was made a part of Nawat, the traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. From that time onwards, the music of Sahnai came to be associated with auspicious occasion. Previously, it was played in temples and during weddings. Bismillah Khan's particularly in northern India, he brought instrument onto the classical stage. He was born in 1916 in Dumrao, Bihar. Bismillah Khan belonged to a well-known family of musicians. His grandfather, Rasul Baks Khan, was a Sahnai player in the court of King of Bhojpur. His father, Paigambar Baks, and his paternal and maternal uncles were also great Sahnai players. Bismillah Khan took a music early in life when he was 3 years old in company of his maternal uncle. At the age of 5, he used to regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chet, at the end of which he would be awarded a big laddu by the Maharaja. Bismillah Khan got his training in Banaras from his maternal uncle Ali Baks, who played Sahnai in the Vishnu temple. His talent came to be recognized when Bismillah Khan was 14 in the Allahabad Music Conference. Later, when All India Radio was established in Lucknow in 1938, he often played the Sahnai on the radio. In Banaras, the Ganga provided him much inspiration and in harmony with the flowing waters of the Ganga. Bismillah Khan discovered new ragas for Sahnai. He developed such a devotion for the Ganga for Dumrao that he declined the opportunity to settle down in America when it was offered to him. Bismillah Khan Sahnai ushered in a new era when he played the Sahnai prior to the speech of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru declaring the independence of India in 1947. Unlike other musicians, the glamour of the film industry failed to captivate Bismillah Khan, although he contributed to the music of 2 films, Vijay Bhatt's Gunj Uthi Sahnai and Vikram Srinivasan Kannada Ventures' Sanadhi Apna. He did not pursue this option further as he could not come to terms with the glamour of the film world. He was rewarded with national awards, the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan. In 2001, he received the highest civilian award for India, the Bharat Ratna. And he was the first Indian invited to perform in Lincoln Central Hall, USA. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran, Cannes Art Festival and in Osaka Trade Fair, so well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him. Tehar Mosque Ustad Bismillah Khan. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life embodies the rich cultural heritage of India. As a devout Muslim, like him, played the Sahnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. After the explanation of the story, we have to know about the summary of the chapter. The lesson is an effort to understand Indian classical musician and instrument, especially the origin of Sahnai and the Sahnai maestro Ustad Bismillah Khan. Sahnai replaced Pungi, which had an unpleasant sound. Pungi's tonal quality was improved by a nai of Sahar, hence it was named as Sahnai. The lesson beautifully deals with the early life of Bismillah Khan in Dumrao in Bihar. His grandfather was a Sahnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King's Court. Bismillah Khan took to music early in life when he was 3 years old in the company of his maternal uncle. His life is a source of simplicity and communal harmony from the very beginning when he used to sing the Chet in the Bihariji temple and practicing Sahnai in Vishnu temple and Mangla Maiya temple of Banaras. Bismillah Khan got his big break with the openings of All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938. He also played Sahnai on 15th August 1947 from Red Fort in the presence of Pandit Nehru. Bismillah Khan gave many memorable performances both in India and abroad, where he was honored with so many awards. He also gave music in two movies, Gunj Uthi Sahnai and Sanadi Apna. He was so fond his motherland India, Banaras and the Holy Ganga that he refused an offer to be the head of Sahnai school in USA. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. In the end, his life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India. One that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Sahnai at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. After the summary, we have to know the message of the story. The life sketch of Bismillah Khan teaches the important lesson that Indian music is very rich and invigorating. Great musicians like Bismillah Khan not only adopted and inherited traditional music but also enhanced it with their original contributions. The features conveys the message in Bismillah Khan's own words, teach your children music. This is the Hindustani's richest traditions. Even the West is now coming to learn our music. Another message that the future gives is that one must love one's country and rise above communal feelings. At last, we have to know the conclusion of this chapter, that music is a very important in everyone's life, so we should just adopt the Indian culture and heritage with the music. Thank you.